Take it to the Western Cape, where refugees and asylum seekers in Cape Town are being sheltered at a temporary accommodation site. Now, this is where they've been housed since their forced removal from the Central Methodist Church last month, but they're not happy with their arrangement as they have no electricity or no running water. None of them have been screened for coronavirus, and they're sleeping on the floor in the tents. In fact, that's where we find Newzroom Africa's Nasiphi, who's visiting the base of the refugee site for us this morning. She joins us now live. Nasiphi, let's start by you giving us a sense of, the conditions there this morning and the ways through which, if any, members who are housed in that sort of site are, in fact, protecting themselves against the possible spread of coronavirus.
Well, we are indeed at the site, or a tent rather, marquee that has been put up by the National Department of Public Works, and we understand that this is one of two sites where refugees and asylum seekers will be accommodated for during this 21-day lockdown. And basically, as you mentioned, this is the group that was inside the Central Methodist Church, and we understand that they have been living there since the 31st of October. And I'll just ask my cameraman just to show you how the people are actually sleeping, and in the half that we're currently in, it's the women and children, and if you can see, there isn't any social distancing, and as you mentioned, there has been no screening for COVID-19, and we do understand that the main reason that they were moved from the church was because that government wanted to enforce the lockdown regulations, which was for people to be screened and also people to exercise social distancing and ensure that the refugees were in a safe place. However, I am joined by Caroline here, who's also a mother living in this tent, and basically says that she's also not happy.
Thank you so much. My name is Caroline. To be sincerely, it's better where we were in the Methodist than here. Here is worse, and here where they put us is not a place for people to be. Because in church we were the place that kids they can play, even we can watch. But here there's nowhere even you can put your feet. When you step in someone's child. And how we are here, this is done. That's what they said, that coronavirus. But there we were in a safe place, a nice place. The situation was very okay, because all of us, we were in a safe. We were keeping some people, like 10 people in their sites, and it was okay. Here there's no way how we are going to put them. It's overcrowded, and how people they are sleeping here is not okay.
And then Caroline, how are you protecting yourself from COVID-19 here in this marquee?
So here we don't know even how we are going to do, because we are even very shocked the way it is. We don't know how are we going to start arranging them. We can't arranging them unless they bring another tent behind there. And this side is leaking. You see, this is the place they put the cups down there. There is a place they put the basin, the buckets. Is leaking the whole night. We wake up, we are wet, and we don't know what to say.
And then Caroline, the president had said that people should be far apart and exercise social and physical distancing. Can you do that here?
Here we can't do anything, because here is overcrowded, and we don't know what to do it. And we don't know how we are going to do it. How are we going to do it? See, look at first. If they can bring for us another tent behind there. That church was very big. We were staying upstairs, and the other side, we were putting like 20 people. Some place we were putting 10 people. We were having a place for playground in front for the kids. It was much better. And some people, they were staying in the chairs. We were separating three people in each chair. We were not crowded the way we are here. See, this is another person. Everywhere is four all people in one queue. Is not nice.
Caroline, can we understand why the refugees and asylum seekers had previously said that they weren't going to move from the church?
It's because of what we see. I told them myself, we need to come and view the place. They didn't give us permission to come and see, because we were supposed to tell them from day one, can you add this thing, because the people they are there. This is their people. How many people we are here? A lot more than 600. And they were saying 6,000. Can this tent overcome 6,000 people? There is no 6,000 people can overcome this tent.
Well, there is Caroline, one of the refugees and asylum seekers here, and also just to mention that there is about 600 plus refugees that were moved from the Central Methodist Church yesterday to this very marquee onto the site. And we do understand that when the buses arrived yesterday, a truck with the portable toilets had then arrived, and we have seen for ourselves that there isn't access to electricity, water and the basic needs that basically government had said that they will make provision for. We do also understand that there has been a very long back and forth between the city of Cape Town and also the National Department of Public Works in actually securing the sites for the refugees. Hence it took this long for them to actually put up this marquee, and we will be speaking to the mayor later on to find out what has happened to some of the resources that they said that they were going to provide for the refugees, including that very important screening to ensure that people are not infected with COVID-19 and possibly could spread to the other people that are here.
So, Nasiphi, just from looking at where you're at, I think it's quite easy to see that it's quite an untenable situation, certainly unsustainable. But give us an idea of ways through which some of the refugees that are there can go about their day-to-day lives. If there's no access to water, for instance, how are they keeping hydrated? Where's the food coming from? It's quite a confined space. Is there at least an opportunity to move around the marquee? Place us there and give us an idea of how these operations can be done, if they can at all.
Well, there is ample space outside. However, many of the refugees have not been working for the longest time since last year, October, and many of them are saying that they don't have money to buy for them or to buy food for themselves. However, we do understand that government had said that they were going to provide food. And yesterday, when we spoke to the Human Rights Commissioner, Mr. Chris Nissan, he did say that they will make food provision, including water and sanitation, and said that when he was there before the police had evicted and moved the refugees from the church to where we're currently standing, he was playing an oversight role and basically said that he'll quickly run here, and that was yesterday, to check if everything that government had promised is indeed here. However, as we can see for ourselves, that there isn't any running water nor electricity, and there are a couple of portable toilets outside. However, as I did mention, that it is about 600 plus refugees that were moved yesterday. So it is a bit, a very difficult situation that they are in. And basically, I think the mayor of Cape Town, who was also part of the process in securing this piece of land, or rather identifying this piece of land and promising those basic services for the refugees for the duration of the 21-day lockdown, will be able to give us more answers later on this morning.
And you've already alluded to how this has really been a protracted battle, which has gone on for months now, to be quite frank. How far are we in the talks of a more sustainable solution for these refugees, who we all know had wanted, in fact, to leave the country over fears of xenophobic violence here at home?
Well, I think the battle between refugees and asylum seekers and government, be it provincial, local and national, still continues even during lockdown. And basically, from our understanding, is that Parliament had given a directive to the Department of Home Affairs that post-lockdown they will have to engage with refugees and asylum seekers on two options, being reintegrated back into the communities that they come from, or be deported back to their birth countries, which we understand that the refugees are still calling on an organization to assist them in leaving the country. However, they do say that they do understand that the borders have been closed. However, they are still hopeful that post-lockdown there's an organization that might be able to help them. But from the government side, they are presenting those two options, which is something that the refugees are saying that they're not even willing to consider.
And then very quickly, Nasiphi, where you at appears, like you already mentioned, to be the women's and children's marquee. How far are the men's marquee, and do you have an idea of the conditions under which they're living?
Well, it's the same conditions, and I'll just ask my cameraman just to pan to the wall on the other side. So the wall that you're seeing there, that's basically what separates the women and children from the men in this very marquee. And they're also basically under the same conditions where they don't have access to water, no electricity, and basically no services there. And they're also saying that they also haven't been screened.